I'm moving on. Hey, I'm moving on. Hey, got nothing left to say. Let's be on my way. Best of luck. I'm moving on. I'm moving
Camino? I met my host Mike on the way of St. James. We've been friends ever since. He visited me in Heidelberg, so it was time for me to see him in his home state of Florida.
Philosophers in history, poetry guys walked here, including Mark Twain. And now, guess who's here? Michael. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
I'm moving on.
Welcome to Florida.
Hello, Mike. So Leute, wir sind angekommen hier in Tampa. Oh Gott.
Isn't that always? Okay.
Alright then folks, I've arrived here in Tampa. Oh dear. Alright, I just check in with you guys and girls really quickly here. Oh, look at this. What a big car. Now I'm having a lot of associative leaps. We weren't at Five Guys.
What's the name of the restaurant we were in?
Glory days.
Glory Days.
Glory days, and those were real glory days. We had chicken wings with dip. Oh, look how wide the streets are here. Yeah, well, a lot has happened, but I don't want to make this video too long. I'll tell you tomorrow. I've basically arrived here in St. Petersburg, Russia. See you tomorrow.
In St. Petersburg, in Russland. Sehen uns morgen.
Florida. Hey guys, we've got a road trip ahead of us via Key West, the Everglades, Miami and on to Cape Canaveral. And all because I was on the Camino de Santiago in Spain. That's where I met Mike and I'm so grateful to him for inviting me and secondly for saying, listen Sebastian, you've got jet lag. Let's have a few drinks on the beach. And we were listening to good music from Jimmy Buffett, Billy Carrington and others. For now, everything is easy going. And he was right. My consciousness felt a bit like an applesauce. I need a little time to get used to the time difference. The next morning, after a sumptuous breakfast, we visit what is, according to recent ranking, the most beautiful beach in the United States, Siesta Key. A beach stretching endlessly north and south, with the finest white sand and lukewarm water, which I immediately pay a visit to. As gentle waves lap against my Adonis-like body, I naturally ask myself the most crucial question. What about Hawaii? I thought they had the most beautiful beaches. But Mike corrects that. He says, it's all marketing. The #1 beach in the US changes every few years just to attract tourists here and then there. Alright then, let's chill out a bit. So it's early in the morning, but already very crowded. It's about 5 AM and we are doing something really typical American. Getting up early, yes, before everyone else, and going to the gym. To get in shape, of course.
Mike, Camino on the treadmill.
Now we are sitting in a cafe, enjoying a coffee, con leche.
Skull.
Gym session is behind us, and after this we are heading straight into town. Well, we're making another stop on the way to test drive a Cybertruck. Even if you don't like everything its inventor does or says, this thing is pretty cool.
Just do a little video. Wow, crazy.
Yes, good things often come unexpectedly. Now I actually have the opportunity to drive the Tesla Cybertruck, which isn't yet available in Germany. I'm really excited.
And it's bigger than what you think inside, man. Oh, it's huge. What? I want one. and your wind, it's designed aerodynamically, except for the very front.
Except for the very front.
There you go. Look at the window behind, but it's
Wow.
really
Shiny.
yeah shiny.
I like the matte ones. The matte ones are
I don't think so. How do you spell that? A long way.
Yeah. Right now we're lowering.
Oh. Okay, right now when you stand here, okay?
Yeah, and it's showing you that it's lowering. So,
It's amazing.
yeah. So in exit car wash mode.
Did you sit out here for hours, kind of going through it? See
No, not really, because it's got the same exact controls as my other one.
It's pretty good. That's good.
Sheet of plywood fits in here.
I mean,
Crazy, huh? It stays in there. It's powered from.
Yeah, it was quite an experience to drive the Cybertruck. Look, it's bigger than me, which isn't that difficult, right? Look here. Yes, and I'm going to test whether it's bulletproof. Oh yes, it is. I just tested it. It is. Look at the windscreen, amazing. The acceleration of the thing is also crazy. So not the windscreen, I mean the car. It feels like being in a jet. Although every Tesla is supposed to have that. So I have no clue. So, second day in a row, early in the gym, at 5 AM. And the car park is very empty. But anyway, half of the cars are big trucks, as usual. Good morning, everyone. Freshly showered, we've just come from the gym. Of course, it was another huge place with 20,000 machines, but at 5 AM there were only 10 guys training there. There was even a swimming pool and a sauna area, and everything is just bigger here. And I got in for free, as yesterday. Mark said, "This is here a German dude, yeah? He's a bit confused. He doesn't have a clue. He might want to move here and check out some gyms. He doesn't know yet, but can he train here for free?" And the staff just says, "Yes, come on in." So yes, now we are going to have a delicious breakfast somewhere around in a diner or something. And at 9 o'clock we'll meet people from the Tampa Pilgrims group. It's a large association of Camino pilgrims from this area. Mike is also a member, and I'll finally get to meet a few pilgrims. So we do have a bit of a connection to the pilgrimage and to the Camino after all. Yes, we are now here in Ybor City district. And as you can see, chickens are protected here. They are not allowed to be killed or locked up, apparently. They just run around freely. It's crazy. Mike and I are now here in a little cafe, waiting for the Camino group that meets here regularly. Tampa Camino Friends, or whatever they are called. And yes, let's see how it goes.
Buen Camino, Mike.
Yeah, this is not officially, this is just like shells. I have to find it like just every single time we got together.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
From our chapter.
Yeah. You know, on my first Camino, I had that on my car, and I was on the Francis, and we were hiking.
So I've just grabbed a veteran pilgrim here.
What's your name?
Jorge Cortez.
And you've been on the Camino how many times?
I've done 10 different Caminos.
10 different Caminos.
Well,
Wow.
not 10 different, but I've repeated the Francés 3 times and the Portugues 3 times, but the others, well, one at a time.
Yeah.
The Portugues, the first time from Lisbon, the Norte from Irún, the San Abres from Orense, and the Camino Inglés from Ferrol. And then also we walked once from Santiago to Muchilla, and then Muchilla to Finisterre.
And why are you doing this? Just walking around. What's the thing behind it?
Oh, it's just so wonderful. I always think that the best way to experience a country is by walking through it. And so we walked through Spain, we walked through Portugal. We did a coast-to-coast hike in England. So we walked through northern England, which was wonderful also. And it's fun. Keeps us healthy and shape, and we meet people from all over the world.
Yeah. And now you're here, a member of the what's the group?
This is we're Tampa Bay area chapter of American Pilgrims on the Camino. There's like 60 different chapters throughout the United States, and this happens to be the closest one to home.
And you meet every weekend, every week?
Well, we have at least one or maybe 2 hikes a month. We always try to get together for Camino coffee like we're having right now, and they do other activities as well. But that's mostly what we do. We have a couple that does a presentation at REI about the Camino. We do tertulia, where we get together for dinner and discussion. And we're retired. We don't have any family nearby, so this is like our fun social circle.
Yeah, and when some pilgrims are nearby, like myself, on holiday, they are welcome at your group to meet you.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're aware of the activities, we welcome everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what pilgrims do.
So if you are a pilgrim on the Camino de Santiago and you are here in the Tampa Bay area, why not get in touch with the Tampa Pilgrims group? I'll put the link down in the description.
You're welcome.
Buen Camino.
Danke.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway.
jetzt gerade auf einem langen Fußgängerweg.
We are now on a long footpath that connects the Tampa city area with Clearwater. And it is a path that is simply 8 or 9 miles long. So if you walk there and back, you have covered almost 30 kilometers.
Fast 30 Kilometer hinter sich. Ja.
Yes, it's just straight ahead. And there's a bridge back there, and it simply goes through Tampa Bay. You can only see the neighborhoods vaguely somewhere in the distance. Some houses, a skyline.
Tampa, downtown.
Downtown, St. Pete, Clearwater. And speaking about water, a lot of water in between. A lot of water. And here on the other side, is that a highway? It's definitely a road with cars on it.
Ein Highway? Ist auf jeden Fall eine Straße mit Autos.
Really? That's illegal.
I'm now at Hogan's Hangout karaoke bar. Right now, this is Clearwater Beach. And that's what it looks like here. You know what? I'll show you around. After eating at Hulk Hogan's Hangout, our road trip begins tomorrow. First destination, the Everglades. As always, we set off very early, around 4 or 5 a.m. and treat ourselves to breakfast at one of the big franchises, some of which are open 24 hours a day. Denny's, Starbucks, Wendy's, or today a Waffle House, which has been around since the 1950s and whose USP seems to be that delicious waffles and hash browns are the hot shit. Of course, only real with plenty of syrup. The Everglades, one of the world's most famous nature reserves, covers an area of approximately 6,000 square kilometers. In fact, it is a flowing body of water that moves very, very slowly, about 1 meter per hour. Urban cities nearby, like Miami, were simply wrested from the swamp by draining it. You can see that when you drive in. Concrete jungle abruptly follows prairie. Across Florida, over 1 million alligators crawl through the reeds or cool off in a local swimming pool. Today we see at least 30 of them. They are as numerous here as fruit flies are in our country in summer when you leave a half-eaten apple on the kitchen table for too long. There are also a few crocodiles. We see at least one. I was told beforehand that the reptiles usually lie around somewhere relatively relaxed and that you can even go canoeing in the shallow water. Alligators are opportunistic snatchers. If you hold your hand right in front of their mouth, they briefly consider whether it's worth the effort, whether they are hungry, and then bite. No, I'm just kidding. Caution is always advised. There is at least one warning sign at every pond here, and no one just swims in standing water in Florida. One of the interesting things I learned on this tour through the Everglades is that alligators have a sense of romance. And how? When they meet, they just hang out together for weeks before mating. And in the process, they developed various forms of dates. One involves pressing their mouths together underwater and creating little air bubbles, which they seem to enjoy. This is a fairly recent discovery. You could say they are kissing each other. And as it is customary in the traditionally conservative southern United States, they take their time before moving on to the next step in their relationship. Alligators are cool dudes, but that doesn't mean, as our tour guide told us, that you should just hop on them. He has seen tourists thinking they could just sit on the back of one of these creatures and then hop, 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 play around. No, that ended pretty badly. And no, don't do that. They are still predators. They are predators. Even if from the outside it looks like they've just got stoned and are a bit retarded, appearances are often deceiving. Now we are in the Everglades, taking a tour and looking at all kinds of animals. And of course, the most famous ones are up there. Look how close you can get to them. That's a real alligator. And you can get really close to it. But don't overdo it. By the way, it's real. It's a real animal. I tested it. It was fat beforehand. No, not Mike. Are you crazy? Without him, I'd be lost. He took care of all the driving, because if I'd messed up his car, it would have been really expensive. So thank you, Mike.
That's the biggest one. That's definitely the biggest one.
And sorry, I was sleeping most of the time while he was driving. I was tired. You know, all the gym sessions, and the sightseeing, and lying on the beaches, drinking. That's quite exhausting. Mike, I can't thank you enough. Not even with a halfway decent video cut here of our trip. Large alligators like this one can survive for weeks without eating a single bite. At least that's what our tour guide told us. So they probably don't feel the urge to eat student or tourist food.
Out today, huh? Then trying to figure out another way. Let's pick a beautiful day to throw out here. Weather's right. I know the wildlife is going to be good for you guys.
The tour guide here was fantastic, by the way. He explained all the different species of birds that fly around here, some of which are really rare. And he even knew which birds currently have young ones, and that the rare ones build their nests right here by the road. It was quite a sensation. Then at some point he started a quiz, and of course it was my turn at some point, as I was sitting in almost the last row. But you know how it is. The students sitting at the back are the ones you like to pick on. The question was, what color are alligators? I said deep, very deep, dark, deep dark, dark blue. But the right answer was actually black.
Alle möglichen Tiere gesehen.
We saw all kinds of animals. Yes, lots of birds, alligators of course, but no pythons. We didn't see any pythons at all. They are a bit shy and tend to come out at night. And there are supposed to be lots of them here. And that's why the government decided to train python hunters. For $150 you can get trained as a python hunter and then go hunting. And we have heard so many stories of people who have made a fortune. Some of them have earned over $100,000 with this hunting business.
Welcome to Miami, guys!
Die ist schon ganz schön eine andere Dimension hier. Ne?
It's quite a different dimension here. I grew up in a village. For me, the scale of it all is sometimes a bit overwhelming. So we've booked a hotel in South Beach with free parking. No, free parking. Not expensive at all for the standards here. And now we are on our way there. And it's still going to take us a good 20 minutes. So, my dear friends, we've now arrived in Miami. Everything here is a bit bigger too. We've gathered on the top floor of a multi-story car park, but our hotel is right on the beach. They won't let us in until 3 o'clock. So, we'll set up our folding chairs here and enjoy the view. No, that's nonsense, of course. We are going downstairs now to treat ourselves to some Vino Blanco or
Margaritaville.
Margaritaville. Welcome to Miami Beach. Total of 36 different colored lifeguard huts, specially designed by an architect, can be found here on the beach over a length of 11 kilometers. That's at least a half day's walk on the Way of St. James. It must have been our keen eye, trained by searching for accommodations on the Camino de Santiago, that helped us find reasonably priced accommodations at the hotspots par excellence: Ocean Drive, South Beach, Miami, for around $100. The prices here are steep. Here, as in Key West, you can easily spend $1,000 a night. Cocktails start around $20, but if you want a decent size, you will have to invest around $60 per glass. Yes, it's crazy, but it's understandable from a business point of view, because it's not the content, but the location that makes the price. That's why I decided to pop into the supermarket around the corner just to have a look. The prices there were almost as cheap as I'm used to in Germany, and you could actually get everything there you need. First of all, I wanted to stay in a hostel. They cost around $50 to $60 a night, and Mike had certain justified reasons against it, because right now, when we are here, it's spring break. That means thousands upon thousands of American students are flocking to the coast, half naked, I don't know. We saw a few of them too, and our sense of reason prevailed us from staying in a hostel. Besides, we have to get up early the next morning because we are going to Key West. By the way, I've decided not to include any fancy animations of our route on a map here, because you know where I am. So I'm here right now, and we are heading to Key West in the Florida Keys. Someone told me there's something to drink there too. Good morning, everyone. And as you can see, the roosters here also live freely on the streets. We are going to Denny's now for breakfast. We left Miami at 4 a.m. this morning, so we could get here in Key West in time for breakfast. Yeah, you know how it is. It took us an hour longer than we planned. The distances here in America are quite something.
Die Entfernungen haben das hier durchaus in sich.
42.
Key West is one of the most interesting places I have ever seen. Previously, my knowledge was limited to the basics: Caribbean flair, Hemingway, rum. Now I know that it is actually a large museum that brings back the era of the pirates. Not only can you have a good time here, which we will come to later, but you can actually breathe history. And that is a big difference from other places in the US, because most cities are relatively new compared to Europe. Key West has a historic district with the densest concentration of protected and listed buildings in the USA. In 1982, there was even an attempt to declare independence, and the access road was blocked. There is only one. However, the endeavor came to nothing. What remains is, for example, Key West has its own flag with a conch shell in the center, which has become the symbol of the island. Somehow, for me, this is another reference to the Way of St. James. Conch shell here, scallop shell there. Key West has the southernmost point of the continental United States, which reminds me of the end of the world in Finisterre, Galicia, Spain. Unfortunately, we missed the famous sunsets that are celebrated here. In any case, there is an incredible amount to discover here, such as a nighttime ghost tour. Many old buildings are said to be haunted by certain apparitions. I heard this in one of the bars. Oh yes, the barmaid told me. Some houses are home to more people than you can see. The town was also once the richest in the United States due to the pirates and their treasures and the later pearl industry. So it's worth staying a while. On hop-off bus is a convenient and flexible way to explore the city, getting off wherever you like and continuing your journey later with the next bus. Key West is of course famous for the poet Hemingway and his favorite pub, the Sloppy Joe's, which is no longer in its original location but still attracts numerous tourists. For Mike and me, it was time to arrive with a cold beer. Later, the place was packed to the rafters, so it's a good idea to secure a good spot in advance. Bring your towels. As time went by, I even met the biographer of Ernest Hemingway's fishing teacher. Oh yes, believe it or not. Well, now I tend to think that the lady was pulling my leg, or at least feeding me a tall tale. But that's really how things are here. The locals are either crazy about the poet or a bit fed up with him by now. For example, there's somewhere a plaque somewhere here, which we unfortunately didn't find, somewhere on the side of the road, which is supposed to say, Ernest Hemingway once peed here, right here, at this monumental place. He had to pee. You know, as history and current politics show, it is possible to go a bit overboard with personality cults, isn't it?
Walton Beach, 1976. I was there in the 80s.
As a German, of course, I believe stories I'm told. And it takes a very long time before I question them. We are stuck here in Sloppy Joe's bar. That's the pub Hemingway always went to, even before he became famous. I have heard so much about Hemingway today that I can't even comprehend it at all. So, the basic facts are, he got drunk here in this bar, this was his favorite drink, then he basically walked out there, he walked out, and then he turned left or right, I don't know, in that direction, until he saw a lamppost that reminded him of his home. And then he went home. That's the story. That's the story. I just wanted to summarize it for you, briefly, so that you all know, and can tell your grandchildren. Oh yeah.
We have to go, right?
What?
We have to go to see some more keys.
Are you sure?
Because I want to see 3 more keys.
You might want some more.
Yeah. One more, then we go.
Are we in a hurry?
No. We have plenty of time. So.
So we are at the end of the world. In the No Name pub. It's on one of the keys. And I really wanted to go there because apparently there are a few $100,000 stuck in the ceiling. And I want to pinch 1 or 2 of them. Or at least one myself. With best regards from Germany. Yes, I'm sure. They'll be delighted here if I do that. That was quite an experience. If you ever come here, the No Name pub is located on the Big Pine Key. Key deer are also free to walk around. They are said to only be found here. The animals even swim back and forth between the islands and must not be fed under any circumstances. It's fascinating how people live here. Many houses are built on stilts, so there's plenty to discover here on holiday. However, if you want to buy a house here, you'll have to dig deep into your pockets. For less than $1 million, I guess you'll get a bit of land at most, and then you can glue, and then you have to glue your own house together out of shells. There are certainly enough of those. This is the 7 Mile Bridge, which is over 11 kilometers long and over 100 years old. Parts of the bridge are already listed as historic monuments, and the ecosystem here is very sensitive. This makes renovation or even new construction a difficult issue. However, it still seems to be holding up. Let's knock on wood. So now we have the bridge back in the picture, but we don't know where all this is leading. If you're wondering the same thing, take a look here at the video. There's a subscribe button and a bell. Click on both and subscribe to the channel. I'd be delighted. Of course, only if you like what you've seen so far. So we are back in Miami, treating ourselves to some time out on the beach, reflecting reverently at Starbucks and co. And then it's back to Tampa for now. We'll continue later, heading to Cape Canaveral.
Just a little bit.
We are now spending our last hours here in Tampa. Miami, I mean, sorry again, cut. We are enjoying our last hours here in Las Vegas. The road is now closed. I don't know what's going on here. Yes, the police is also here. Yesterday there were 3 big police cars at every intersection. All divers dressed as police officers stood there, just watched the traffic. I asked one of them and she told me, "Man, I'm only working here. I have no clue what's going on." Okay. And then every now and then they shouted at people. Yeah, it's spring break. That's how it is here. Pretty crazy. Let me show you the boulevard. That's the boulevard. The beach is back there. And there's Mike.
Hello.
And that's the bar.
So I'm leaving now here on Friday.
Yes, as you can see, there are an incredible number of anecdotes that have accumulated here. That's why I'm going to add a few more videos about Florida and the US, because I think it's worth it. They are funny and serious stories. If you don't want to miss them out, click subscribe now. No, sorry, I can't stop you, yeah? You have to decide for yourself which channels you subscribe to on YouTube, you know? If mine's one of them, please do. I'd be delighted. On the way back, we drove along the harbor in Miami. And there were 6 or 7 huge cruise ships lined up in a row. It was absolutely crazy to see, and it showed me once again how oversized everything is here. Back in Tampa, we went to the Irish pub in the afternoon and immediately met other Americans there. It's really easy to make contact with fellow citizens in the US. Germany and Europe could learn a thing or two from that.
It's in Spain and Portugal mainly, but it's all over Europe. We met on that. Well, went over, we did a 5.
So for me as a European, it's pretty interesting to see when Americans meet, they talk about their guns.
By the bed that has a code or a thumbprint. My brothers.
They've been talking for 10 minutes now about everything related to rifles and so on. I just wanted to show you that. Maybe we'll go to a shooting range as well. I don't know yet. I'll have to see.
Weißt du?
Unfortunately, I'll have to put you off until the next trip to the US, because this time we didn't go to the shooting range. But maybe next time. But then we definitely go hiking a little more. Maybe even on the Appalachian Trail, which is only 5,000 plus kilometers long, so pretty easy. It's a weekend trip. The obvious thing to do first is a little trip now with a Pilgrim group from Tampa. We'll be hitting the road with them. Alright, I've dressed up. I even got my buff with me, which you might know from my videos from the Camino de Santiago. We're here now with the Tampa Pilgrims group, and we are just going to walk a few miles around the block. And those guys, they are all experts. They are all experts. They've been on so many Caminos. I don't know if I can catch up.
You may as well feel like we're back in Spain. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. I'm really excited to be back with my group. We'll head that way out down the road. Who's done at least 3 Caminos? Raise your hand. These are the people that you want to talk to. Everybody is always willing to share information. Everybody has a different opinion.
We are in Tarpon Springs, north of Tampa, and the Tampa Pilgrims chapter has organized a trip through the Greek immigrant neighborhood here. Many Greeks were drawn to this region in the late 19th century because of the thriving sponge industry, which had long been familiar in Greece. The neighborhood here is, of course, still characterized by Greek culture. By the way, we are going to eat some delicious souvlaki later on, as long as this fellow doesn't snatch it away from me. Ah, no, it's alright. We understand each other. Incidentally, our guide's grandmother is the founder of the Orthodox St. Michael Church, which is the first place we visit.
unknown beaches, and that's the island.
Blessed are you, pilgrim, if you find that the Camino opens your eyes to the unseen. Blessed are you, pilgrim, if what concerns you most is not arriving, but arriving with others. Blessed are you, pilgrim, if you discover that a step backwards to help another is more valuable than 100 forward taken without awareness of those at your side. Blessed are you, pilgrim, if you search for the truth and make your Camino a life, and of your life a Camino. So to you pilgrims, receive this shell, the badge of a pilgrim. Now that you will begin your Camino, may the love of peace and God be with you always. And may you, attentive to his voice, pass through the countryside sowing goodness. All the experienced pilgrims, please provide a shell to the new pilgrims. By these shells, may all recognize you as a pilgrim of the Camino de Santiago.
It's impressive how the group organizes its annual tours here to send new pilgrims on their way. That little ritual just now was really very moving. And this time even I, as a former pilgrim, was allowed to present a shell to a friendly new pilgrim and give him some advice. I am now somehow responsible for him as a sponsor. Well, he was already grown up, so I think he can manage on his own. If he gets lost on the meseta, he can ask the AI. Hey, AI, I'm lost. Hey, yes, lost. That's an exciting topic. I'm definitely here for you. It's certainly a great adventure you are experiencing right now. No man, you don't understand. I'm on the meseta. Yes, exactly, meseta. A very, very exciting topic. By the way, did you know it's a plateau in Spain? Dude! Yes, some paths you have to walk alone and figure out for yourself. Like that four-legged friend here. Yes, that one. That dog is probably having the time of his life right now.
Mullet hole. Another Florida Camino.
So we are going hiking again, this time in Crystal River, which is the name of the place here. And there's some water nearby here where you can see manatees. Mike had been thinking the whole time that we should go hiking somewhere. We discussed various ideas, including driving to Georgia and spending 2 days hiking the Appalachian Trail north of Atlanta. That would have been another blast. Yes, but the US is vast. In case you didn't know, finally, he suggested Crystal River, a little north of Tampa, where you can see manatees, but unfortunately they are not around at the moment. We arrived right in the transition phase in spring when they return to the coast. In autumn and winter, hundreds of them like to stay in the river courses because it's warmer there and you can swim with them. There are special tours for that. Meanwhile, we encountered another representative of the WTF species up close.
Oh, he's good. Oh, look at it.
Look.
I like this little park.
Oh yeah, it's really beautiful.
The humidity of over 80% is really getting to me. Not to Mike though, he's fit. He cheerfully tells me about all the wildlife and poisonous animals such as snakes that live here. But luckily you don't see them during the day. Yes, it's a beautiful spot here, nice to walk. Afterwards we go on to an archaeological excavation site where indigenous people came to fish over 1,000 years ago, but also for ritual purposes.
Also ich will euch mal ganz kurz zeigen, was...
So I want to show you briefly what the hurricane caused here last year. So if you look outside now, you can see we are at ground level in the museum right now. And the lady just showed us. Here is the water line. You can see it a little better from a distance. The water was this high inside here.
So hoch stand das Wasser hier drin.
Historic site.
It's pretty here. You know, there's no green blooms on where it is.
So, on Mike's recommendation, we drove to a huge bar, Crumb's Landing in Homosassa, or something like that. It's huge. tried to walk across this jetty, but unfortunately these pelicans flew away. I think I'll leave them alone. They are moving away from me a bit and I don't want to scare them off. They are just sitting here to catch fish. It's a beautiful place.
A lot of the guys smoked it.
You might not want a beer. You don't have to
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So we are currently in a traditional biker bar in America. It's called the Sail Inn and Mike even knows the owners. Once you've been here in America, even if you're not a big patriot or something, you find it strange. You have to see a biker bar. You have to see it once. You have to see how things go here. It's like in the movies. We are actually waiting for the Terminator to come and pick up his clothes. You can also play billiards and you can see the political leanings that prevail here in the back. Like I said, that's just the way it is.
Das einmal gesehen zu haben, ist, finde ich, schon wichtig. Das ist wichtig fürs Allgemeinwissen.
That's great. Thank you. So for all of you who want to know how this traditional drink is brewed, I'm going to ask the barmaid right now, and hopefully she'll tell me. I don't know yet if she'll actually do it. She's over there right now. She's very busy. I need to know how it works. I need to know it. They're really waiting for me already? But the landlady, barmaid, the lady of the bar, the lady of the house probably shows up at any minute. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, I told you. I told you what it's like here. Eh? They're just out to sell all kinds of things here. Nobody has the time to talk to me about stuff. And the guy in the back there, that's a cool guy, right? Yeah, they also play darts and pool, of course. They do all kinds of things here. Mostly, I think, they drink. That's what most of them do, including myself. Been waiting for 10 hours now. Maybe now she has time to talk.
Hey, can you tell me for my YouTube subscribers how you make this drink?
A smoked old fashioned, so it's bourbon. You've got 2 ounces of bourbon.
Okay.
You've got a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. You've got 2 dashes of aromatic bitters. You've got 2 dashes of orange bitters. You stir it, then you pour it. You strain it over to a big ice cube. Put a cherry and an orange peel in it, and then you smoke it.
You smoke it, yeah.
Yep.
I will translate this for this guy, for those guys in Germany. So we will. What's the name of it? Traditional.
It's called a smoked old fashioned.
Smoked old fashioned.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can do any bourbon in it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So much.
So now you know, right? Now I have to hurry because people are waiting for me.
Like a documentary.
Yes, you know how it goes, right? Now I'm out and about with Mike again and the owners have just invited us here.
Who are you talking?
Yeah,
Nobody wants to hear German.
I'm talking about in my camera here, you know, for YouTube. It's just for YouTube.
He has a YouTube channel.
So
We are going somewhere with them to a Mexican restaurant. We are going to a Mexican restaurant. Continuing along this funny road.
Wir haben uns eingeladen, ne? Und da fahren wir jetzt gerade noch mit denen irgendwo hin zum Mexikaner. Wir fahren zum Mexikaner.
We're driving on the street. Yeah, there's a lot of water here, a lot of rain here in Florida. As you know, Florida is a very cold state. You know, they have lots of snow here in winter time. Yeah, you can go skiing here, snowboarding. Good to go here in Florida.
Jetzt fahren wir einfach weiter hier auf der Straße.
Chinese?
I'm talking like a hamburger right now. Like a guy from the north.
Ja, so ist das hier. Ne, da ist das hier, der ist ja rote Lampe.
There's a red light up ahead, yeah. And then we just drive along the road here. We just drive straight ahead, always straight ahead until we arrive somewhere. Ciao. Hi everyone, I'm reporting from a typical American neighborhood, just like you see in films and on television. I'm taking a little walk in my socks right now and recording this video to give you the latest update. Yesterday we got a little carried away in this bar, which resulted in Mike having some stomach problems. So today we are not in Cape Kennedy, as they say, but we are going for a little hike again. Maybe not. Yes, we had another delicious breakfast today. It was really the last time, I have to tell you. I'll ever eat pancakes. I don't know. I think it was 3 or 4 pancakes with blueberries and syrup. They were incredibly delicious, but there were too many. I'm so full right now, even though it's been a few hours since I ate them. I'm so full. I can hardly walk. I'm practically rolling around here. There's just so much food. You can't possibly eat it all. It just doesn't work. So as I said, it didn't work out with the manatees yesterday either, but I saw an alligator. There are supposed to be over 1 million here. And yesterday something funny happened to me. Mike and I were at the petrol station and I was thinking I'd just buy a can of beer. So I bought a can of beer and then the saleswoman behind the desk asked me, paper or plastic? And I was confused and then she said sternly, paper or plastic? Well, I said, I just want a beer. No, she said, paper or plastic? I said, only this can of beer, please. Yes, man, but you have to pack it, she said. I said, oh no, I don't need a bag. Our car is parked right there. And then she got really angry. And then she said, no man, come on, I really have to pack it. Do you want a paper bag or a plastic bag? You have to decide. And then, of course, it occurred to me, of course I know it, you are not allowed to carry alcohol in public in the US. You can't carry a beer can around in public. It's not allowed. Yes, I knew that, but I didn't have it ready at that moment. Yes, and I chose paper. Yeah. Oh wow. Now it's becoming a bit cooler here around, a little fresher, but not for me. I'm from Germany, so I'm used to a different kind of weather. Yes, tomorrow we are going to Kennedy Space Center and a little later I'm flying home again. So there's not much happening now, but it's been eventful. That will take me a while to process everything we've experienced here. I've met so many people, had so many conversations and gained so many impressions. Yeah, it was lovely. It was so lovely. It was actually a bit like a mini Camino, the Camino de Florida that we did here. No, we are not riding off into the sunset just yet. The highlight, Cape Canaveral, where we can even watch a rocket launch live, is coming up. Before that, we're just treating ourselves to a day off, a rest day. And by the way, I really couldn't resist visiting an American Aldi. It's set up almost exactly like in Germany, except that you could drive with an SUV through the aisles. But that's how it is here. Everything is a bit bigger.
Thinking about it. Well, it should be good.
Good morning, sleepy greetings from Denny's near the Kennedy Space Center. We're heading there soon, but we still have plenty of time. They don't open until 10 a.m. So we are enjoying a coffee first.
I think you know what you're doing.
Really? Oh yeah.
Ready for liftoff.
So everyone awake again? At the Kennedy Space Center, the US combines what it does best, like no other in the world. Combining absolute entertainment with education and serving it all up on a silver platter with sparkling patriotism. You learn everything there is to know about space travel, if you have the patience, and at the same time, you're always right in the middle of the action. And I tell you what it's like. In the end, even I, an old man, wanted to become an astronaut. Even though I'd probably go crazy in such a stuffy space capsule. But then I stood at the exit in front of the recruitment office for one of the first one-way flights to Mars. And Mike talked me out of it and stopped me. Sebastian, he said, you are a daddy. You have children. Get yourself a dachshund if you want. But take responsibility for life here on Earth. Besides, the signal for football on Mars is pretty poor. Alright, that convinced me. I'm staying here. That is pretty big. Mouse that accompanied me on the Camino de Santiago in Spain is of course a must-have here, and we are very impressed by all these rockets. But I'm particularly taken with the space shuttle. As a teenager, I was fascinated by it. I often sat in front of the television for hours watching a show called Space Night, a program that showed videos from space accompanied by relaxing electronic music all night long.
Hubble's still out there, you know that.
Yes, exactly. I actually know that. The Hubble telescope was launched into low Earth orbit in 1990 by the Discovery space shuttle, which is similar to the Atlantis. And the Hubble will remain there for a while longer, even if the James Webb and other high-tech telescopes will eventually surpass it. Looking back is at least as important as looking forward. I was always fascinated by Hubble, just like I was by the space shuttle. The view into the deep space, these masses of galaxies that exist out there, which make looking back here at Earth appear in a totally different light, somehow putting things into perspective, and at the same time saying, hey, what we have here, this little blue ball, is really important. We should take care of it a bit. At the Space Shuttle Atlantis Center, we experience a kind of a rocket launch in a simulator, as it must have been back then. I found it very impressive, as far as I can judge, but even Buzz Aldrin is said to have tested the thing and found it to be good. So what can I say?
Good. And Mike, you like it?
Of course.
However, for environmental reasons alone, I would bet that my great-grandchildren will one day simply travel into orbit in a space lift and then set off into interstellar space with a warp drive. But that's all in the future. First, we should clean up our own orbit, right? Space debris. We could organize a cleanup week around the ISS. Afterwards, Mike and I get on a bus that takes us through a few checkpoints to another museum. We actually pass this world-famous block, this huge building where all the rockets that fly to the moon, or who knows where they fly, are stored and built. They then drive through this large door, which is actually the largest door in the world, 139 meters high, on a crawler. We also get to see the crawler briefly. Yes, unfortunately, we are not allowed to ride on it yet. But as I said, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, space lift. Hey kids, look where I am right now. I'm standing in front of one of the biggest rockets ever built, the Saturn. Let me show you. It goes from there to there. Look how big it is, all the way back there. If you see the people, you can get an idea of its size in comparison to them.
Da seht ihr bei den Leuten, wie klein die sind im Vergleich zu der Rakete.
And here we also have the ferry that landed on the moon. So it's a replica.
Dazu, das ist ein Nachbau. Kann man das sehen. Jetzt bin ich direkt da drunter.
Now I'm right underneath it, and there are all the patches. And this is the patch from Apollo 11, the program that landed on the moon.
We go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You won't see it right away, but keep looking over there. Give it a few seconds to clear the launch tower. It's on the screen. There you go. Starlink satellites into orbit around the Earth. seconds approximately after liftoff, the first stage engines will shut off. That is called MECO, main engine cutoff. A few seconds after that, the first and second stage separate. Okay, they separate, and then the second stage engine will ignite. You may be able to see that. You can still see the first stage engines are lit. You may not see the fire, but you can see the exhaust coming out of that. When that exhaust stops, that means those 9 Whirlwind engines have done their job, they've stopped, and then we'll have the separation of the first and second stages. Okay, so we just had main engine cutoff. Right now, the 2 stages should be separating. And I don't know if we're going to be able to see that second stage ignite. It's too far away. You've got
Back there you can still see Kennedy Space Center with a big rocket. And now we're heading back home. I'm going to quickly record a message while the impressions are still fresh. It was so great. There's so much to see and learn. And at the end you actually get the chance to see a rocket launch. That was so cool. I can't stop raving about it. It was really so cool. Wow. So now we are a bit exhausted, but we are pretty happy. We are very happy. We are very happy that we did it today. So today is the last day. We're going to take it easy and start the day with a nice breakfast at First Watch Daytime Cafe. Yes, this is what it looks like here. Big buildings, lots of franchises and breakfast.
Und Frühstück.
Have to drink it slowly.
So I just found out that I'm the first visitor to this brewery from the #1 beer country. You know, Germany. Then of course a pin on the map is a must.
A long time. And floppy goes for.
So this goes out to all the Germans. I don't know who's watching here, but I have to get this off my chest. I'm here now with a fish, with the boats, but actually I'm here in on the toilet. But that's really important here. You should establish this in every country. You need something like this everywhere, in every bar, in every house, because otherwise you only have problems. You understand me? You have problems, all right? Now I show you what I mean, okay? Be patient, prepare yourself. Please, take a look at this. Look here. You do your business down there, and you can just put your beer up here. You can just put your beer here. Whoever sees this and patents this idea, yes, I get the half. I get half of it. I'm telling you how it is. All right, see you in a minute. Well, that was our Florida road trip. 2 weeks of wonderful experiences that I will remember for a long time to come. I hope you enjoyed it too and that you were able to pick up a few tips for your next trip. The Mouse and I are eternally grateful to Mike and his family for everything they made possible. Thank you so much. See you soon, and I wish you all the best and a buen camino. Take care.
Yeah, oh, perfect.
It's exhausting swimming from one side to the other all day long. You can't help but complain. I'm German, so as a German I complain about everything, of course. That's what Germans do. And it's really much too hot here. My whole back is burned. My skin is peeling. And yes, I'm completely out of breath. You know, all this water and stuff. Is it necessary? Is it necessary? Really, it just makes me angry, really. And then there are all those car journeys from one side of the state to the other. Yeah, sure, I was sleeping, Mike was driving, but even sleeping was very exhausting for me. I had to take a nap afterwards to recover. There must be a shorter way. Yeah, okay, really. We saw Key West. Okay, Key West, yes. But between the both of us, I can tell you, Key West, it's a tourist trap. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's really bad here, Florida. Yeah, don't go there. It's terrible.